I was studying my Bible, I kept coming to the same exact page. So I really want to read a lot of verses to you since I went on those two tangents, and I do want to go on one more before I read. But 1 John 3:12. I was asking my Threads community, why does Jesus offer peace and people still choose chaos? I feel like, at least when I read the Bible, in the Old Testament, it came down to either serve the Lord or don't serve the Lord. And we talked about choices. And at the end of that choice is control. Everything comes down and comes back to us being in control versus God being in control. And as I was reading this, I felt like God was saying it's either self or surrender. And surrender, if you are truly a follower of Christ and you are taking up your cross and surrendering to Him, that's a sacrificial love. I feel like when we talk about love, we think it's like simple, but the love in the Bible is bless and do not curse. Pray for your enemies. Forgive those who persecute you. The stuff that we actually don't want to do. Speaking of forgiveness, I feel like the Lord was saying forgiveness does not equal fellowship. And I want to show y'all that in the Bible too. So remember, we're talking about those two lights in the room. And I want you to think about those two lights being two spirits. This might be a little bit of a longer video because I really want to get into this word. I want to read 1 John 3:12 to 1 John 4:9. And then I want to follow up with the study portions of some of the verses because, y'all, when I read this, it helped me make sense of these lights because I was deceived. All right, so let's get into it. 1 John 3:12, talking about love. And I love how the Bible talks about the first two children in the Bible, Cain and his brother. Not as Cain, italicized, who was of the wicked one and murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his works were evil and his brother's righteousness. Do not marvel, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death to life because we love the brethren. He who does not love his brother abides in death. Mind you, this is John now. We're talking about John. Whoever hates his brother is a murderer, and you know that no murderer has eternal life abiding in him. By this we know love, because he, talking about God, Jesus, laid down his life for us, and we also ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoever has this world's goods and sees a brother in need and shuts up his heart from him, how does the love of God abide in him? My little children, let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. Y'all. And by this we know that we are of the truth and shall assure our hearts before him. For if our heart condemns us, God is greater than our heart and knows all things. Beloved, if our heart does not condemn us, we have confidence towards God. And whatever we ask, we receive from him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. And this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another. He gave us commandment. Now remember, we're still talking about the spirits. First, we're talking about love, and then the next section is literally titled The Spirit of Truth and the Spirit of Error. Now, he who keeps his commandments abides in him, and he in him. Talking about abides in God, in Jesus, and Jesus, God, abides in us. His Spirit abides in us. Chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, do not believe every spirit. Test the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. By this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that does not confess that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard was coming and is now already in the world. Hello, Antichrist. They killed Jesus. It was there then and it's here now. You are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because he, God, who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. They are of the world, therefore they speak as of the world, and the world hears them. We are of God. He who knows God hears us. He who is not of God does not hear us. By this we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. The next section, we're going back to love now. Back to love. Knowing God through love. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. He who does not love does not know God, for God is love. In this love of God was manifested toward us, that God has sent his only begotten Son into the world, that we might live through him.